Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Xtremetarot, where we do moon readings and zodiac readings. Today we're doing a zodiac reading for the sign of Gemini. We're taking a look at messages that your guides want to bring forth to you. So, okay, Gemini, let's do this and see which house your spirit guide's trying to bring your attention to. The 11th house, your friends. It's so funny because that's exactly what I'm getting here. We have Tribe of the Kindred, number 10. We have Nostalgia, focus on the here and now, but see how there's two people on the card, like two girls having drinks or lunch or whatever it is. Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? Hold on. The people with whom we surround ourselves determine who we become. Does your tribe fill you up? Do they inspire you? Do they believe in you? Do they help you step into your greatest potential? Today's soul action. Make a desire list of the type of people with whom you wish to surround yourself and clarify if there is anyone in your life who no longer serves you. Can you love them from a distance? Okay. So first of all, I feel like there's just been such a theme of this in my readings lately, of friends, of people seeing true colors and wanting to edit their friend lists. So I just feel like that's what is going on here, but I also feel like you may be on the receiving end of this edit. You may have been edited out of somebody's life, because we have the nostalgia card. So that's making me think that this wasn't necessarily your choice. This could be a situation where maybe one of your friends found a new friend, a new best friend, and left you behind, kind of a thing. Or I don't know, just cut you off somehow. There's just some sort of truth that somebody couldn't ignore here, because we have this angel of truth here. So it's almost I feel like there was some sort of truth that someone couldn't deny. And we have the number 10 here again, which is a number of endings. So I feel like Spirit's really wanting you to come through. Your spirit guides want you to know that whenever there's a situation like this, there's always two sides to a story. A lot of times we could spend and waste time wrestling with who is the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's right and who's wrong, having a black and white mentality like that. I think Spirit is saying that they're highlighting the difference here, the two different color hairs. Hair to me is always thoughts. So it's it's almost somebody, it's two different viewpoints is what I'm getting. I'm thinking of the card, the dolphin card from the spirit animal deck, that says this and that are true, where it's that two truths, because we have this truth energy where it's your truth can be very, true to you, but somebody else's truth can be true to them. And they're both true. This and that are true. It's just your truths aren't matching up. So it's sometimes best to go your separate ways or agree to disagree. Or how this was saying, can you love them from a distance? It's kind of there's something not meshing up here anymore. I also feel what was I getting a message of? I think Spirit was wanting you to really take a look at this situation as well and try to determine if, because you may be, I was saying, there's a sense of nostalgia here where maybe you're missing this person or something like that, thinking about the good times. But this is saying focus on the here and now. That's the message from your spirit guides. They're saying, okay, we gotta let that go and focus on the here and now and do an honest assessment of this friendship or whatever this is. I would say friendship, because we have the 11th house, which speaks of friendships as well. It's Aquarius energy. But I would take a look at this friendship, an honest assessment. Was this someone who lifted you up? Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? Maybe something about your friend, there was some friction. Did you get along all the time? Maybe it was just something as simple as you guys didn't get along anymore, something like that. Maybe there was some discrepancy, some sort of something that maybe didn't sit right with you. And maybe not, maybe you'll come to the conclusion that no, that's not the case. But regardless, I think Spirit wants you to examine that and sit with that. If how you actually feel about this person. Is it a pride thing? Because I'm noticing this yellow. Is somebody coming at this from a place of pride? Oh, I don't like being left behind. It's hurting your ego. What is the source of your discomfort with this situation? I think Spirit really wants you to examine that. So, okay, let's get some more cards. What message for Gemini from Gemini Spirit Guides? Okay. Okay, we have co-create number 40. I am going to look in the book for this one. Let's see. Okay. Creativity, art, inspiration, fruition, and manifestation. I'm going to read the relationship message because I feel like this is about, well, actually, let's read this. You may not consider yourself a creative person, but in fact, you are creating your reality every moment of every day via your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, intentions, and actions. Yet you must consider that you do so in partnership with spirit, consciousness, God, or whatever name you call your higher power. You are a spark of this intelligence that works through you, nudging you with inspired thought and intuitive guidance. You are a paintbrush that co-creates a beautiful, unique expression of your own individuality blend with the universal spirit. You are a product of divine inspiration, and now you've aligned with it to create miracles. When you view your life as art and know you co-created, only beauty and grace result. Prepare to be amazed. Okay. Now let's look at the relationship message. Connections of the heart serve to inspire you, opening you up to new ideas you would never have come to on your own. You are looking in a mirror held up by this experience and seeing yourself in an unexpected way. Who is this extraordinary being looking back at you? You are going to be so happy that you kept your heart open. Your love is a unique work of art now, the very embodiment of beauty. Okay, that's like very vague, but I feel like what I'm getting from this is that spirit is like that there is like a higher purpose. Like it was like whatever your higher power is. I feel like spirit is like, let's get through this together. Like I'm getting like that's like the corniest thing I've ever said, but like almost like, but there's the two people here, and maybe I feel like honestly I didn't really need to read that message now that I'm looking at this card, because that message kind of just confused me. But again, I'm getting the difference, an owl and a jaguar. I don't know what animal that's supposed to be, a leopard, something. There's some sort of jungle cat and a bird, where it's like maybe you're just different, and there's just two differences. Your lives are going in different directions, something like that. And I think it's all about how you work with whatever is going on. Like with the co-create, it's like how you handle certain situations. Again, with the jungle cat, I'm getting a more prideful sort of an energy here. So I feel like there's, maybe it's something like a leopard can't change its spots. Like I'm getting like a vibe like that. So maybe it's best to just go your separate ways. And with the tribe of the kindred, because it's a number 10, which represents an ending, but also the number 10 reduces to a 1, which is a new beginning. So it's like when old relationships, whether they be friendships or romantic relationships or what have you, exit our life and fall away, it is creating space for new relationships to enter your life, people that are more on your level, kindred spirits and things like that. So it is hard. I know it's so hard. I remember when I had this best friend when I lived in Florida, but I mean, we were so close, and she ended up finding a new best friend, and like I had made her promise that she would never do that, and she broke her promise. And like around the same time I like left my husband and went through a divorce, and I just remember like the pain of losing that friendship was like worse than my divorce. Like it was agony. Like I was very upset. So it's like, I know this is, I'm not trying to trivialize this. I understand that this isn't just like, oh, whatever, bye, like making room for somebody new. It's not that simple and it's not that easy, but I think that spirit is also trying to get you to come up with a sort of, because when you think about co-creation, when you think about creation, trying to create your life in the way that you want to make it and the way you want to build your life, who do you want to surround yourself with, and things like that. Sometimes it's these experiences like show you people that maybe you don't need in your life in order to help you fine tune your creative process here, like your selection process for friendships and things like that. Does that make sense? So sometimes you have to see a little bit of what doesn't work for you. Even though I do feel like there is a sense of like holding on here, I think Spirit is wanting you to know that like if somebody's not wanting to be in your life, that's a pretty strong message. That's of, you know, that it's maybe not a good match for whatever reason. And it could be tough. It said there's an experience holding up a mirror to you, and it's making you maybe question things about yourself is what I'm thinking. So I don't know. I would say sit with all of this, question, see what truth is the truest truth. Like, what is your truth in this situation? I would say I would not so much focus on the other person and what they're thinking and why and things like that, and more so focus on what's your truth about the situation, what's your assessment on the situation, and keep it at that. All right, what else for Geminis? Oh, that's 2. Sorry, take a break and protection. But what is the message from Gemini's spirit guides? We have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So I feel like Spirit is wanting you to, and then look, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? I think your spirit guides are asking you to trust them, because it's almost like you feel like this is maybe like you did something wrong, and now it's like it's thrown you off your game is what I'm getting. You're just kind of like off kilter, and you feel like, oh, like, what did I do? It's like, I feel like you're expending a lot of energy, like ruminating on this situation in a way that's not very helpful. And it's almost like you feel like, I think Spirit's saying, like, look at the situation differently. If you knew that this was in your best interest, that this happened, like, what would you do? How would you look at the situation if you knew? If like your spirit guides could come down and be like, hey, Gemini, how you doing? We just wanted to let you know that actually you didn't do anything wrong in this situation. It was always meant to go down this way. For whatever reason, like there was going to be a lot bigger fights in your future, like whatever the reason would be. Like, you know what I mean? That like you couldn't be friends anymore or whatever. But it's like there's going to be a lot more like conflict coming up. So we're just trying to make things easier for you in the long run as you distance yourself from this person. So actually, your new BFF is on the horizon. You're going to meet them in 8 months from now. So just chill, do your thing, and you'll be fine. Like, and you'll be like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? And then they showed you a little movie preview of you and your new friend, and it's just you get along so much better than you and this person ever did, or something like that. Or they showed you like a little upcoming movie of like some drama that you would get in some fight, or the situation escalating in a way that would be like very messy, like, if that makes sense. So I don't know, like maybe you would look at the situation differently. All right, let's see what else for Gemini. Oh, nothing is yet set in stone in reverse. Interesting. So I feel like, okay, I feel like this is about you guys maybe not being able to be flexible in this situation. And again, like I was saying, I understand that it can be very hurtful. It can be very painful, needing to mourn and grieve a relationship that you maybe didn't want to leave your life here. Nothing is yet set in stone. That's a mutable moon. That is an energy of fluctuation, flexibility, and change. And I think like there's something about your energy that is set in stone in this situation, that you're looking at it in a certain way. There's a perspective, there's something like that. And it's interesting because Gemini itself is a mutable sign. It's especially mentally mutable, like, because it is an air sign, and it's a mutable sign. So it's like, you would think of Geminis as like people that change their mind and can just like kind of go back and forth on an issue, see both sides of a situation, like things like that is what I associate with Gemini. But I feel like in this case, Geminis are having a tough time with that. I feel like if this is representing both sides of your mind, they both have the same identical like shocked expression on their face, which is, oh, like I feel bad. But with nothing is yet set in stone, I think Spirit is asking you to try to be a little bit more flexible, try to have a little bit more trust in them and the situation. I feel like you could have a tough time trusting your guides, and they're trying to come in and be like, and like help. Maybe that's even the purpose of this, to help you to look at situations differently and to become more flexible. Like that could be the actual purpose in and of itself here. But there's definitely a sense of needing to learn to be flexible a little bit. And look, even here we had on the bottom of the deck, have faith in your dreams. So I feel like there might even, like, I'm getting a sense here, like, that maybe Spirit is almost taking this time to, like, separate you. I don't know, just to have you look at certain things and to, like, maybe realize that you want to live a different sort of a life, and giving you an opportunity to almost, like, reach some sort of point of, like, frustration, some sort of breaking point. Not breaking point like super serious like that, but some sort of breaking point. I'm just gonna say that, where it's like you all of a sudden start creating your life in a different way. I feel like there's something that's, I just saw trust again, have faith, trust. I think Spirit's like, we know what we're doing. You have to trust us. But I mean, I don't know. That's just what I feel like they're saying. We have grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. I think Spirit really wants you to examine your own role in this situation. Again, not that they're saying, oh, you did something wrong or you did anything right or wrong. Because I think the message here is that you're both right and you're both wrong with co-create. It's like it takes two to tango. It takes two. And sometimes two people just don't get along. Sometimes, you know, people go different directions and things like that. But this is definitely a loss that you're grieving. I think I said that you were mourning this. So whatever is the case, should we look in the book at this grief? I feel like this is a loss. Nothing is gone forever. The belief that we have lost someone or something is merely an illusion to assist us in learning to appreciate our having had it in the first place. The emotion of grief and the sense of loss are absolutely real, but that is the point. The lesson of loss is not about the actual physical separation, because the parting is temporary and illusional. It says illusory or something. I don't know how to pronounce that. The point of the lesson is to acknowledge that the bonds of love never end and that we have not been abandoned. Oh, so maybe this is triggering some sort of abandonment wound in you or something. When you accept in your heart that you will be reunited with everything you have ever loved, it will give you the ability to move beyond your grief and derive something beneficial from the experience. To wallow in grief is to pass up the opportunity that you and your soul family have devised and learn nothing from it. Instead, allow your grief to take you to a place of deeper understanding. I think Spirit's trying to do that. They're trying to like get you to learn how to take a step back from situations like this in order to like focus more on yourself. Almost like, okay, you know what, like, the people around me don't appreciate me, fine. Okay, fine. Like, that's fine. I'm gonna like just use it as fuel to like create the life that I want. It's like something like that, where Spirit's like wanting you to take this experience and like use it in a way that you maybe haven't used situations like this before in the past. Like, I don't know, I'm getting that very strongly. And maybe it's just going to start with you just learning how to be a little bit more flexible, see both sides of a situation, because I'm getting a sense of like stubbornness, of needing to be right, of pride a little bit being in the way here. With the cat too, I'm getting a sense of pride. So what other message do you have for Gemini? We have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Yes, this is, it's like you're oscillating between being worried and like in this more anxious mindset versus this very defensive, like on maybe like combative, like where it's almost like you want to fight somebody. Like, so I feel like that's where these two, it's like you are of two minds in a way, but they're both kind of in the same mindset. It's just, I don't know. It's like two, like for instance, if you're seeing like the darker side and the lighter side of your personality, I feel like this is like both darker energies coming through here, but two different ones. So I feel like it's mostly highlighting that. But yeah, I just feel like the situation has hit you hard, and it may have just recently happened or something like that, but it's definitely hitting where it hurts for you, Gemini, and I'm so sorry. All right, what else? Oh my gosh. Ace of Wands. I love that. And then the Nine of Cups. Okay. Lots of nines here. So that's making me think that we're having a tough time letting go. Okay. With the 9, we don't want it to be a 10. We're holding on to the 9, hoping things can go back to the way they were. we have the King of Pentacles. Okay, and the Empress on the bottom of the deck. So, all right, let me get my tea leaves. So with the Nine of Swords, let's see, let's clarify. But I feel like with the Ace of Wands, I feel like it's almost like the fact that there's a 10 and then a 1 here. I feel like Spirit's like, in order to like move on to the next happy phase of your life, we have to allow this ending to occur. We have to accept this ending. And hold on, let's see. What is the Nine of Swords? Ooh, firecracker, excitement, rabbit, too much concern with sexual matters. Okay. Let's just get one. Hold on. I didn't mean to pull out two, but we'll remember that. Maybe this is like a friend that you thought would like lead to more, like in like a sexual way or something like that. That doesn't have to be for everybody. We have older woman, dealings or relationship with an older woman. So maybe this friend is older than you, or maybe you're older than them or something like that. But I think Spirit's saying like, I get a lot of times with the older woman, like crone energy, like the, what is it called? Like the triple goddess or whatever it is, like the mother maiden crone. So I get like the crone energy, and the crone is an older woman that has had a lot of tough life experiences and has turned them into wisdom. But here with the Nine of Swords, it seems like instead of using this, it's almost like if whether you're older or not, it doesn't matter. It's almost like this experience is going to add to your collection of knowledge, and maybe you feel like even that you've had too many experiences with this type of thing, and grieving and losing people and having to like learn, and whatever the case, like having to make the best of a situation. But Spirit's like, I know, but it's like, have faith that like, you know, trust your path. Like this is all for purpose somehow. I don't know. Crown with a Nine of Wands. Honor and respect will come to you. I feel like that's Spirit's way of saying that this has hurt your pride, especially the most. This isn't necessarily like coming from like the heart. We don't have any cups cards here. Well, we do have the Nine of Cups, but I'm sorry. But I feel like we have mostly wands. We have 2 wands, and then we have like 1 of each of the other suits. So I feel like, again, it's like almost like your pride is affected. The way you look to other people is affected. Even that, it looks like they're wearing crowns. I'm getting a sense of stubbornness here, where, do you see how like the antlers and the way this crown looks is kind of similar. So I feel like it's almost, yeah, it's like you're taking this hit on your pride, like where you feel like you want to know the answer because you feel like you're maybe like looking bad to other people, or there's something about how other people are seeing you, and you're not liking it. Ace of Wands, Force, muddled, unclear thinking. I feel that this has really thrown you for a loop here. And yeah, you're not clear-headed, like nothing is yet set in stone. I feel like this whole situation is like overtaken your mind, and Spirit's like, whoa, like we gotta like, I know it's hard, like obviously. And like I was saying, like I understand it too, even just me, the reader, because it's like that whole thing with my friend Stephanie or whatever. Ooh, I'm not supposed to say her name, but like this girl I used to be friends with, that we had, I mean, like I said, she left me for like another friend, and it was like devastated my whole life. So like I get it, but you know, I had to, it was grieving. I had to grieve it. So sometimes you do have to grieve it. For me, it was more emotional. It wasn't about pride. It was like my heart is broken. Here I'm not necessarily getting like that same feeling. I'm more so getting like honor and respect. You feel, it's almost like the way that people see you. You're more so, it's like you're wondering like, although we do have this nostalgia card, but I think you're just like wishing that things could go back to the way they were. But remember the original message that we had. Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? Muddled, unclear thinking, Ace of Wands. Spirit wants you to have a new perspective on this that is going to sort of energize you, where maybe you realize that you didn't get along that well, where the friendship wasn't really that great, where maybe you didn't even really like this person either, but you were just going along for a sense of habit. You know what I mean? Have you guys had lots of fights in the past? Like, do you really get along? Like, if you maybe sit with those questions, you would find out maybe this person wasn't like such a great friend to you, and maybe you weren't a great friend to them either. Maybe you were both trying to like pretend to be people that you weren't, because
with the nostalgia, it's almost like you maybe were friends for a long time and you just kept the friendship going out of habit or something like that. But it's like Spirit's like, what? Like, it's almost like when you're obsessing about a guy, like if you're like in, you know, that you have a crush on or something. And it's like, oh, and you're watching tarot readings, like, how does he feel about me? How does he feel about me? But it's like, how do you feel about them? Like, honestly, think about that. It's more like, you know, it's better to at least focus on how you're feeling about the situation. If you're going to be obsessing about it, obsess about that. That's what your spirit guides would say. All right, 9 of Cups. 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. I feel like there's something about like this whole situation, you having this perspective shift, if you allow it to happen, if you allow your perspective to change, which you have to do. It's not just going to happen out of nowhere. You have to almost be open to it, be open to opening your mind. I feel like there could be some sort of like, with the 9 of Cups, it's almost like emotional satisfaction that you learn how to fill up your own cup is how I get that sometimes from the 9 of Cups, where it's like, it's a sort of, it's a good fortune because then it's like you literally moving forward don't need anybody. Like you're able to fill your own cup up no matter what's going on in any of your relationships, kind of a thing. That doesn't mean that you won't get sad and get your heart broken and have pain, but it's like your ego won't be affected so much. So it's like you'll have more peace, if that makes sense. But it's like Spirit wants you, you know, I think Spirit wants you to be able to use this opportunity with whatever's going on in your life right now in order for you to realize that there are like good times up ahead, and this is just one little thing that isn't even really that much of a blip on the radar, but it's almost like you're making it bigger than it has to be. Again, not trying to minimize your grief, like clearly you're grieving something here, but I do feel like it's also about pride and even guilt. With the, maybe you do feel guilty a little bit because you feel like you've contributed, and maybe you feel guilty in the way that you're like, oh, I ruined it, and it's like almost like, again, with the muddled, unclear thinking. Or it could be that you know that you've done wrong in this situation, and instead of wanting to admit that to yourself, it's like you want to like cast blame on the other person, kind of a thing. Like broken ring, parting of the ways in either romance or business. So there is some sort of parting of the ways that's coming out over the King of Pentacles. So this could be somebody that you work with, somebody that you had a long established relationship with, again, that you thought would continue on. The King of Pentacles, it could be a Taurus person. Do we have any other signs here? No, we don't even have any major arcanas here. And that, again, is telling that this is just something maybe in your everyday life. This is a little thing. This isn't even like the biggest event that happened to you this year. Like it's not, or this week. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is something that's bothering you because it's coming through in this reading. But I think Spirit's trying to like draw your attention to the fact that in the grand scheme of things, like, yes, it's knocking you off kilter, but you're going to get back on and you're going to be fine. But I think there needs to be an acceptance of this ending here. So let's see what else. We're just going to get some advice, and then we are going to close out this reading, guys. So what other advice do you have for Gemini regarding the situations? What does Spirit Guides want to say? Don't be so smart you can't wonder. That makes me think that you maybe have some sort of mentality of thinking that you know everything, thinking you have the situation figured out. Again, having a stubborn mindset here. It's like you're really like in one mindset and not seeing the other side of a situation. So I think Spirit's saying like the smartest person in the room is oftentimes the stupidest person in the room because their mind isn't open to learning new things and bringing in new ideas. Like the beginner's mind is like the best mind to be in because you're open to it all, to learning, to finding out new information. Like your mind is flexible. Again, I feel like your mind is not flexible. That's further clarifying that point of needing to have a little bit of more flexibility. Let's just get one at a time. I'm sorry, that's like 4. What else for Gemini? Okay, I just want one at a time. For Gemini. Okay, thank you. Stretch those muscles to release stuck energy. So I feel like there could be some like energy healing if you're into that sort of a thing, some Reiki that could help. This situation could be triggering you because it reminds you of like other situations in your past. I feel like there's some stuck energy. So this could, again, how this co-creation card was talking about how some certain experiences hold up a mirror to you. I feel like that could be what's going on here. And I think Spirit's wanting you to take a look at something on the there, maybe in your solar plexus chakra or your sacral chakra. There could be certain energetic blockages that are influencing you. I would look into that. Sacral and solar plexus, they have so many things online. Reiki Rachel is a great resource. No one is responsible for your life except for you. I feel like there's something about blame here. And look at this. Why do we feel mad and disgusted with ourselves when we fail? Stupid for trying. I feel like you're either beating yourself up. There could be a lot of self-loathing here, playing the victim, blaming, feeling like a martyr a little bit. I'm sorry, just in this situation. I'm not saying overall, but there could be a little bit of that. Which, you know, we all indulge in a little bit when we're going through a rough time. Remember, you can always be kind. There's nothing wrong with being in that energy. It's just when we stay in that energy and can't get out is when it becomes a problem, you know? It's okay to slip up, acknowledge, apologize, and get back on track. So even if you have maybe taken the situation very hard and you've been letting it get to you, I think Spirit's saying it's okay. Like, you feel what you feel and it's totally fine. Like, again, but just, I feel like I'm getting a stubborn energy from you a little bit. So maybe you have a tendency to get stuck in certain emotions and not let things go or something like that. Oh, that's too many, obviously. Okay. Let's just get one. Okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take the next step. So I feel like just making a commitment to try to see the situation differently. If you're still here watching this reading, obviously it's resonating. So I feel like just taking a look, wait, don't take failure so personally. See what you can learn from it. And you are not your thoughts and emotions. Learn to detach and observe them. I feel like Spirit really wants you to be able to do that. That's going to go a long way in helping you be a little bit more flexible here. But I would definitely look into the solar plexus and the sacral chakras, and maybe even the heart chakras for blockages, and maybe even do like a full chakra healing or something like that, because I feel like there's some stuck energy and I'm really, that was coming through. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you in the next one, okay?